This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Welcome back, baseball fans. The 1972 Winter Baseball Classic, little spring training baseball from the 1972 cards. We're in a round of 5 matchup between Missoula and Mississippi. M-I-S-S-O-U-L. Yeah, it can get confusing. I mean, the 3-digit abbreviations, Mississippi got the MIS. Missoula had to settle for the MSL, if you're keeping track of that sort of thing. In a best of 5, let's look at the bracket first. And we see that Missoula out west was 7-2 coming into this against the number 8 seed Mississippi team. Based on record, winning 3 out of 5 is not good enough for Mississippi. They need to win a tiebreaker, 4-2. Something that Hollywood, if you watched, did pretty easily against Vancouver, winning 4 out of 5. Very unlikely to happen, and happened there. Can it happen again? Well, let's take a look and see what's happened. Series opens up in lovely Missoula, Montana, and this is a shocking end to this thing. It's Wilbur Wood for the home team against Steve Klein, really good starters. Bottom of the first, Blair reaches on an error, Gamble triple, William McCovey homer, it's 3-zip. William McCovey homers again, having a hot spring training. Maybe that portends well for the Giants. The visitors get a run here in the 5th. It's a 5-2 game in the 9th when Don McMahon, normally reliable closer, pinch hitter Norm Cash, 3-run homer were tied. You get a Mickey Stanley triple in the 10th inning, and here's Mississippi coming back 3 in the 9th, 1 in the 10th to stun the 2 seed 6-5. Game 2. Can Missoula get that home win? And in this one, it's Mike Caldwell for the visitors and Steve Arlen for the home team. Again, the home team gets an early lead in the first on a McCovey RBI double. But a mistake in the 3rd. After a double and a walk, it's Mickey Stanley with a 3-run homer. And that is it. That's the rest of the ball game, folks. These offenses are pretty anemic. And in this spring training, the pitchers are ahead of the hitters, as we like to say. And most of these games are low scoring. And it is the visiting Mississippi River Queens are the up 2-0 on the Missoula Mountaineers, trying to throw a scare into the bracket once again. Let's go down to Mississippi now and see what happened in Game 3. Well, tables turned, folks. Mississippi, Nelson Briles versus the visitor Missoula, big game Bob Johnson. And it is late foot in the 8th inning by the visiting team. Home team comes up a run short. Final score, Missoula 5-4. Road teams won every game. So much for spring training home cooking. Game number 4, can Missoula tie it up over Mississippi? Bill Hands, Carl Morton. We get a 2-out single by Johnny Briggs, an RBI single by Bando. Meanwhile, number 4 starter, he's a starter 6, Bill Hands. A single there, and there, and there. So 5 singles strewn about 6 innings with a walk. That's a complete game. 3-0 shutout for Bill Hands. Road team wins every game. And after that surprisingly hot start, Mississippi has suddenly run out of gas. They need to win the next 2 games. They get this game in their own park, but they're going to have to go back to Missoula to win the whole enchilada. So let's see what we have today in a Game 5. We are back to Game 1 starters. Wilbur Wood for Missoula, Steve Arlen for Mississippi. The loser of this series will show you the 20 cards of their roster at the end of the video, as we've been doing. Let's get going. Leading off, it is Paul Blair. 57 pops out. Oscar Gamble, 410, pops out. McCovey, red hot, only pops out. So there's that. Bottom of 1, Dog Will Hunt, 44, third X. That's Bando at 2E20. That's an out. And Boots Day, 1-7, pops out. Mickey Stanley having a nice series. Rolls a second. Top of 2. Bando, Noel Bando, Sal Bando, short X. Bud Harrelson at 2E22 at short makes the play. John Briggs, 36 is a walk. Denny Doyle, 55. Uh-oh, off the Klein card, double 1 to 3. It's a base hit. Runner goes to third. They're going to bring it up for Josephine. Pitcher B, Gunsman out the plate. Nice move there by the pitcher. So I got first and second with 2 outs. Larry Stahl bounces one to short, but it's Buddy Harrelson, and he makes the play. Bottom of 2, it's Frank Howard. 311 is a K. Joe Pepitone, 48. This guy's a center. Spezia, it's Bezio. Pops this third. Into the 4th, briskly here. Luis Alvarado, second X. This is Tommy Helms, 2E18. Paul Blair back up top, 54, off of Klein, homer, 1 to 9, fly ball, the arrest, and that's gonna just drop on the warning track. Ball must be blowing in. The wind's blowing in off the Mississippi, and yeah, I can picture that, I suppose. Maybe not. Oscar Gamble, 56, base hit. William McCovey, 63, pitcher X. Klein is an E38. Ouch. But the E38 pitcher does not get the E rating. He gets the range of 2 there, and that's an out. Bottom of the 3rd, it's Jerry May, 44, third X. That's Bando at 2E20 makes the play. Bud Harrelson, 312. K plus injury. Ouch. Home team loses a shortstop. That's not any good. Dog Will Hunt will take over at short. Actually, can even Wayne Garrett? No, just let Wayne Garrett take over at short for one Met for another Met. How about that? So Garrett's not going to play short, whereas he'll make him a 40-48. And Tommy Helms, 53, rolls the first. Perfect thus far for Wood Wilbur. Top of 4, it's Bando, Noel Bando, 36, triple 1 to 2, base hit. John Briggs, 66, base hit center field. Bando's got wheels, look out, but he'll hold it second. You got a nice arm of Mickey Stanley in center field. 2 on, nobody out, Denny Doyle. You know, a lot of times you'd think you'd bunt with a guy like Denny Doyle, but he's batting 6th because 7, 8, and 9 are not very good, as you can imagine. They need Doyle's stick here. 68 pops to first. Dwayne Josephson, 48, second X. And this is Tommy Helms, and that's an inning double play. So the visitors have been the guys on the bases doing nothing. Home team has not reached first base. Ron Hunt off of the wood, second X. Doyle, 314 at second base, makes the play. Boots Day, 66, and there's our first connection off of wood. A double 1 to 5, double. There goes your perfect game no-hitter. Mickey Stanley, 412 left. Frank Howard, 44, third X, but Bando's a 2E20. And he gives up a single with 2 outs. They're on the corners here for Joe Pepitone. Wood needs to get out of this mistake. 67, he cannot. It's a base hit to center field. Oh, Wilbur Wood glaring over at Bando, ruining his inning here. And the home team has the lead. First and second, 2 outs for La Spezia. 2-7, that's a base hit to center field. Frank Howard, of course, has boat anchors on each ankle, so he'll stay at third base. They are loaded with 2 outs for Jerry May, who pops to short. Well, it could have been worse. A lot of lob today. You know, 1-0 affair. Top of the 5th, Larry Stahl. 2-8, double 1 to 5, 2 base hit. Luis Alvarado, 56. This is going to drive in a run. It's double 1 to 6 off the Klein card. He gets it. We got a 1-1 tie. Paul L.D. Blair, 47 on a 4, lines out. Oscar LD Gamble. No, it's just Oscar Gamble as far as I know. 49, second C. And with 2 outs, the runner at third now, it's Willie McCovey. 2-10, rolls back to the mound. Bottom of the 5th, let's pause a moment and tie game for station identification. Bottom of the 5th, here we go. It's the new shortstop, Wayne Garrett. 2-6, Ks. Tommy Helms. 1-5, pops to first. And with 2 outs, it is Dog Will Hunt. 47, strikes out. We go to the 6th. It's Bando. Bando, 67, lines the first. John Briggs, 49, rolls the second. And Denny Doyle, 1-9, flies to right. Bottom half of the 6th inning. The Boots of Day, flies to right. Chicken Stanley, Mickey Stanley, and that actually Fred Stanley, who's not on these teams, usually gets the Chicken Stanley moniker. I have to come up with something different for Mickey. 38, rolls the third. And with 2 outs, it's Frank Howard, 3-11, strikes out. Well, we go to the 7th. Nice, quick game. These spring training games just fly on by. Dwayne Josephson, 46. Guys are just getting their timing down and whatnot. Base hit the right field for Dwayne. Larry Stahl, 69, flies left. Louis Alvarado, 43, right X. Well, we got decent right fielder Johnny Boots of Day makes the catch. These boots are made for catching fly balls. Paul Blair with 2 outs and a man on. Skies center field. Stretch time in Mississippi. Series tied 2-2. Ball game tied 1-1. Neither team can figure the other guy out. We are enjoying this British 70s rock anthem compilation with some very unique things tossed in. We got not just Motorhead on this, we got Hawkwind as well. Tofat, great album cover there. T-Rex. We got, yes, Deep Purple, Dire Straits. This thing goes all over the place. I don't know if these are anthems, but let's throw down some, let's just let this go here. A New Way by the Tofat guys. Real creepy looking album cover. Guy with no face. Some interesting weird stuff on here. The Bonzo Dog Band is on here. By the way, in case you were wondering, Sultans of Swing is on here by Dire Straits. The reason I bring that up is, I look over, it's been played 1,129,000,000 times on Spotify. So no need for me to add to that number. Okay, bottom of the 7th of a 1-1 tie. It'll be Joe Pepitone leading off. 35 for Joe Pepitone against the lefty. It's homer 1-10, fly ball the rest, and oh no, crash the party. He cannot break the tie. La Spezia, 5-11 walks. Jerry May, 47 Ks. And Wayne Garrett, 2-4, rolls to second base. Well, how many base runners does each team have? Well, the visitors have a couple more guys. Is the difference of this game. 1-1 into the 8th. Klein and Wood are both star eights. They can go 9, not 10. It's Gamble, Oscar, 57. These guys are right. William McCovey, 35's a walk. Bando, been around a lot of the action today. Bando, Bando, 5'10", catcher's X. 2E16 for Jerry May. Foul out on the 2E16. There you go. And John Briggs. 110's a base hit to center. McCovey will just stay put there at second, of course. And it's Denny Doyle trying to break John Briggs with 2 outs. 38, he cannot, he rolls to first. Oh boy, this could go 1,000 innings, folks. Bottom of the 8th. Tommy Helms. 43 off of the Wood left X. Decent corner, guys. 3E0 and a 3E4 here. But that's going to be a double off the 3-ness. Tommy Helms reaches second base as a 12 runner. Hunt. You think you should bunt here, but the guys behind him, Hunt's probably the best hitter up here. 69, short X. Anyway, Alvarado's a 3E34, not very good, but he makes the play. Runner holds to second. These boots are made for hitting. 5-12's the walk. Now you're closing in on breaking the wood. 2 on, 1 out. It's Mickey Stanley. 66 will do it, maybe. Double 111, fly ball the rest. He gets the double on the 8. That's gonna break wood. Boots day 14. Not gonna take on the Blair arm with just the 1 out. So that is going to be a day for Wilbur Wood. He goes 7 1/3. And they're going to go to, you got Howard, Pepitone, and Spezio. They're going to go to Bob Locker. Locker in the 9th, in the 8th. 2nd and 3rd, you got to give the RBI and a credit to. There you go. 2-1 game. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Bob Locker will face Frank Howard. Infield comes up. 37's a K, and with 2 outs, it's Pepitone. 1-9 for Pepitone, double 1-9 off his card. He gets the 2-run double. That should win this one, you would think. La Spezia K's. There you go, folks. It is a 4-1 game for the home team. No defense to bring in. Steve Klein calls it after 8. And we'll go to closer Mel Queen. Trying to campaign for a job in the summer league. He was with Colorado as their closer the last 2 or 3 years. Originally was a California Angel. Really good card in 70, 71, 72. He's on waivers now. So it's about how much does he have left in the tank? Can he close out a 3-run lead in the 9th? We'll find out. Vulnerable against lefties. The only lefty you have on the bench is Ted Kubiak, of all people. So let's see how this goes. Leading off would be Dwayne Josephson. 2-10 for Dwayne's a hit by the pitch. Now you got Larry Stahl, the runner at first. 2-7 Ks. Alvarado or we'll have Kubiak, the lefty pinch hit. Kubiak, out to get a guy on. 1-7's a K. And with 2 outs, back up top to Paul Blair. And 34. Bouncer to short. Just, very little offense in this whole tournament, really, folks. Once you get 3 or 4 runs, you pretty much have got it under control. Except for game 1. Game 1, Norm Cash hit that home run in the 9th inning. Had they lost that game, this series is over 3-1. But right now, Mississippi's up 3-2. They need to win a 4th game tiebreaker. So basically, right now, we'll do the stats here, and I'll show you why it's tied. Walking 2 Ks and a save for him. Klein gets the win. 8 hits, a run in the middle innings. 2 walks, no strikeouts. Bob Locker, he gave up a hit and 2 Ks. The dreaded inherited runners score off of the Wood Wilbur. 6 hits, 4 runs, but he left with those men on base, which is a little disappointing. 1-0-1-9, 0-1-0-8, 4-7-1-8, 4-7-1-8, 3-2, 2-8, 2-8, 3-2. That was a game 5 of a best-of-5 series, but we're going into tiebreaker territory. We'll show you exactly why we're doing this. Starting with Missoula. Missoula just lost this game. And they're losing the series presently 3-2. So Mississippi finds themselves with a record of 11-8. Hitting .229 with a .259 ERA, just 3 games over 500. And when you go to Missoula, they're 9-5. You have to be a full game ahead to avoid a tiebreaker. They're only a half a game ahead, and the reason why that's not good enough is that Mississippi has a 3-2 advantage head-to-head competition. So you can have a half-game lead if you have the advantage head-to-head, but they do not. So you have to play a game 6. If Missoula wins that, it means they've split 6 games, but moreover, they'd be a game and a half ahead. And in that case, if Mississippi wins, they'd be a half a game better, but also they would hold a +2 in the tiebreaker column. That's why we do a game 6. So I will play that game 6, and at the end of the video, you'll find out by process of elimination who's going home and who advances. So we'll look for that at the end of the video, and we'll talk to you soon. Well, baseball fans, we have a team eliminated, and it was the surprising team. Missoula, who had to win just 3 of 6 games, could not do it. They lost the first 2 at home. They went to Mississippi, won 2, but then Mississippi won game 5, and then they fly back to Missoula, winning all the games there, 4-2. This is the Missoula Mountaineers. We'll get through their squad and see what cards need to be analyzed. Here we're going to start with 7 guys that we aren't concerned with because they already have a better card. You see this McCovey card's pretty bad, really. It's a 213 average, but it played well in the tournament. No worry, we got a better card for him in 74 when he's like 100 years old. Paul Blair, really, and the whole 72 Baltimore Oriole offense was horrendous. He had 233. You don't need it. We already have a better card for him. We got a better card. We have Bando's best card, which is 73 during the Dynasty years. Another 236 hitter. Oscar Gamble doesn't really bloom yet until he's with Cleveland in 74, along with Alex Johnson. Same kind of thing. Denny Doyle, we have him with Philadelphia, where he can hit lefties and righties. And we got one more year of Don McMahon closing out games for a good Giants team. So those cards don't really matter. Now the next 7, though, are keepers, and these do matter. Beginning with John Briggs. Very interesting bat here. Power, lefty. You can hit lefties with plenty of power, plenty of walks. Okay defensively at best, but a good stick. And he hit 266 with 21 home runs. We think the Brewers will take this card versus, he's got some more cards coming up. Now, Fran Healy, on the other hand, no, you don't want this one. This is terrible. Just a part-time player, 152, but he'll have a good card in 73. Now, interesting case of Bob Locker. He gets a World Series ring here with the A's in 72. His stats are pretty darn good there. 6-1, 265 ERA, but I look at the card with tremendous caution here. He's lights out over here, but look at how the lefties just pick on him for all these hits. That is pretty bad, frankly. And Locker has a card coming up in the future where he's really good getting lefties out. I think it might be with the Cubs, though. So that's the conundrum. And you already have Raleigh Fingers getting righties out like that anyway. Do you need 2 of those type of cards? So I don't know if we're going to use this Locker, even though the ERA is pretty good. Big Game Bob Johnson is now 29 years old. We started calling him Big Game Bob Johnson, I think, with his 69 or 70 card with Kansas City. And, we've just been calling him that all the time. I don't even know if he does well in big games, but his stats aren't pretty good. 295 ERA in 116 innings. So, yeah, this card is under control by the Padres. They would like to have a guy like that. This Bill Hands card just threw a complete game shutout. He's a Texas Ranger. He's still with the Cubs here. 2 years removed from winning 20 games in 69. He ends up playing for the Minnesota Twins and Texas Rangers. Doesn't pitch on 3 days rest anymore. And of course, here is the Wilbur Wood card we will be using. And this is the card that can pitch on 2 days rest. So that weapon, assuming the White Sox make the playoffs, and they are favored to do, they're one of the top 6 teams in the American League, having Wilbur Wood pitch on 2 days rest when the playoffs starts will be pretty deadly. He's not quite as good as he was in 71. His ERA is up to 251, but we're really going to deal with that. I mean, the guy is a 17-game loser after all, right? Speaking of guys who lose games, this guy lost Game 6. Pitched pretty bad, and that's why Missoula is here right now. He lost the deciding game versus Mississippi, and he would lose a lot of games. 21-game loser for the Padres in 72, but he is the possession of the Florida Marlins, an expansion team who simply need a guy who can pitch on 3 days rest. So that's why he's relevant. Now you got 4 guys on waivers who can go anywhere in the league. Kubiak usually plays in this league because he's a switch-hitting middle infielder who can play all the bases. Sometimes he has power. Here he does not. Larry Stahl's a good, decent left-handed bat, plays the corners, decent throwing arm usually. Here he's got power, some walks, some homers, had a decent tournament as a one-way guy. He might make the league, even though it's 226, maybe not actually. Yeah, this might not be a good enough card. He's on waivers though, so he can sign anywhere. Dwayne Josephson, catcher and first base. Intriguing card, because he can play catch and first base. As a righty, he does better against lefties, but don't dismiss the power versus righties in his triple 16 double on 6, which is interesting, even though the batting average isn't particularly overwhelming. It's a good, a catcher, it's 268 in this era is a good catcher, and so I expect Josephson to get in the league. It's a question of how much use are you going to use him, just against lefties, a little bit against righties. Jim Strickland, a valuable lefty, underused, 36 innings. This always happens in Strat. You see a guy with 36 innings, it's a fantastic ERA, but you look at the whip and see that the whip and the homers aren't particularly great. You flip the card over, you combine the walks, a couple walks and a home run, then you're in trouble. So you got to use this guy precariously, but he throws left-handed, so you know this card's going to get in the league, particularly because against righties, guys who don't have power, you feel very comfortable with this guy on the mound. We have 2 undrafted free agents who have not been in the league before. The first is this guy, Louis Alvarado. His card has been around since the late 60s. He's never really done very well. Here, he's got full-time power and can play all 3 infield spots, which is great. Nothing else over here is, well, he's a good base runner, actually. He hit 213 for the White Sox. So, I wish this guy could get into the league, frankly. And on the right side, he might make it. He's better there than he is there. And we had Ricky Clark. He actually played a lot in the tournament. We used him as a righty in the bullpen who gets lefties out, kind of, sort of. Or at least if you look over here, I like this. There's no homers. It's a 3 single. He's got the walks. He's horrible over here. He's 4-9 with a 450 area and 110 innings, but you use him in a limited relief role to get lefties out, he could be successful. So we're going to keep our eyes on Ricky Clark, see if we can sneak him into the league. And that is your Missoula Mountaineers, Gold Rush Town, Missoula, Train Guard Landscapes, going to the Sun Highway and all that wonderful stuff out in Montana. And the Mountaineers will have to go head for the mountains. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.